Hello, my name is Michael Keller. This is my poem project for ENH 292. I'm going to read what I have here. My favorite poem is William Shakespeare's Sonnet 130. Often it is simply referred to as My Mistress's Eyes Are Nothing Like the Sun. The sonnet is very unique, witty, funny, ironic, and romantic. It is unique because Shakespeare takes this opportunity to play with the sonnet in a fun way. It is very witty and funny because by playing with the sonnet form, Shakespeare takes a jab at the very cheesy sonnet form. Usually sonnets were love poems in which people over-exaggerated their love for someone. It is ironic because although Shakespeare seems to be insulting his mistress, the main point of the sonnet is to say, hey, even though my girlfriend is not as perfect and beautiful as a goddess, I still love her as if she were. Due to this playful ending, Shakespeare turns a seemingly insulting sonnet into a compliment, saying that he actually loves her more even though she is not perfect. When I first read this sonnet in high school, I thought that Shakespeare hated this woman and thought she was hideous for the first time I read it. This is because I did not take the time to explicate the entire poem. When I took the time to pay attention to all the details, I realized that he actually loves her. After I realized that Shakespeare was a after I realized that, I thought Shakespeare was a genius and way ahead of his time. I thought it was the most amazing thing I ever read and couldn't stop laughing. It was really witty and clever to me. This poem was very surprising to me because I didn't think that Shakespeare was funny. I thought it would be boring because I was in high school. I did not expect to like a poem written by a guy who lived in the 16th century. I think this poem would be good to teach to adolescent readers like when I was an adolescent reader because they can appreciate the humor in the sonnet just like I did. It will take a bit to have the poem actually sink in for them in a way where they understand it, but after they do, I believe they would appreciate it, just similar to the way I appreciate it after I understood it. This would be a good poem to hook them onto Shakespeare, and then they would be interested in his other classic poems and plays. So I'm going to take the time to read it, the sonnet, Sonnet 130. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked, red and white, but no such roses I see her in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet by heaven I think my love is rare, as any she belied with false compare. So the sonnet sounds kind of weird in Old English, and this the way it's written right now. But when you explicate it, you get more meaning, and I'll try to like translate what it would actually mean nowadays in our English. So my mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. That's pretty self-explanatory. Coral is far more red than her lips red. So, yeah, her lips aren't very red. If snow be white, well, then her breasts are done. So, compared to the whiteness of snow, her breasts are more brown or grayish. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. Because her hair is wiry and not very beautiful. I have seen roses damasked, red and white. I have seen roses. I've seen beautiful roses, but no such roses I see in her cheeks. Her cheeks don't really have much color, and in some perfumes is there more delight. So perfume smells better than her than in the breath that from my rich mistress reeks, which means that she smells her breath stinks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. He doesn't like to listen to her. She's probably pretty annoying. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. So he's never seen a goddess before in person, and goddesses are very elegant, and his mistress is not very elegant. She treads like a beast. And yet by heaven I think my love is rare. So he thinks he loves his mistress just as much as as any she belied with false compare. So he loves her just as much as any girl described in a sonnet just like this, where the poet is exaggerating how beautiful she is, how her lips are like coral, her breasts are snow white, her hairs or she has beautiful golden hair. She smells beautifully. She walks elegantly like a goddess. Like he's mocking that. So he loves her more than any she belied with false compare. And that's why I like this poem. It's funny. He takes shots at other other poets, and I think it's hilarious. So that's my favorite poem, Sonnet 130 by William Shakespeare. Thank you.